Hi guys and dolls, how's everybody today? Hopefully you're good. Hopefully you're good in the neighborhood. Alright, so I mentioned this in a video yesterday that, okay, let's adjust this little puppy, that I went on the road. I traveled coast to coast. And so I want to talk a little story time today. So when I was married, he was a over-the-road truck driver, okay? And he basically relocated people who were corporate. So corporate people, their company would pay for them to get relocated. So that's what he did. And so a few times I went on the road with him. So it was nice. It was interesting. My favorite parts of the country are the East Coast and the West Coast, although I'm partial to the East Coast because that's where I'm originally from. And it's beautiful over there. So, but the mountains of the West Coast are like, wow, I've got a fascination for mountains. And so one thing that I noticed, you're gonna see different parts of the country in all aspects. Good weather, bad weather, sun up, sunrise, sun setting, just absolute beauty. The Smoky Mountains are gorgeous too. Traveling through the Smoky Mountains is beautiful. Just beautiful, like wow, just really, really, really nice. So another thing I noticed is that, okay, so for truck stops, most truck stops are such that if the trucker fuels there, gets his fuel there, then he'll get either a discount on showers or he'll get free showers. It just depends on what they're offering. Women a lot of times get free showers depending on the truck stop. I think a lot of times got free showers because women have special needs monthly, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so it's not really hard to get a shower when you're a woman on the road. However, with that being said, there were some areas that he had run the hours that he could run, and so he had to rest. And not every place that he rests at is going to be a busy area where there's a truck stop right there. I mean, some areas are going to be remote, so showers may not be an option. So what I started to do was keep water, gallons of water on the truck, and keep plastic, the basins. And I would just, like my grandmother would call it, a bird bath. You wash yourself down and squat over it and wash your arms. You want to get clean, right? So you got to do what you got to do. So whenever there wasn't an area to shower, that's what, I would do. DOT. Yeah. DOT is the Department of Transportation, and they can be some of the most arrogant mofos you have ever seen, okay? If they're on a power kick, if they don't like the color of your skin, I'm just keeping it real with y'all. The trucker's going to be held over for the entire weekend, and that has happened before too. And they just start nitpicking at every little minor trivial thing. That is not always the case, and not all DOT people are strung out on their ego and their power. But that has happened a couple of times. Yeah. But found out a couple of things. He also relocated Bill Gates. No, we did not meet him. But we met the person that he hired to organize the whole relocation thing. The mountains are stunning. Breckenridge, Colorado is, oh my God, beautiful. Okay, like, wow. I I'm stuttering. It literally looks like a postcard. So gorgeous. It literally looks like a postcard. There are some parts of the country that were so drab and so depressing. And I think one of them was, it could have been, I think that it was Santa Fe, New Mexico. Very drab. Not a whole lot going on. Dirt everywhere. Not a lot of trees. It's just, when we left there, it didn't bother me, okay? Breckenridge, like I said, is gorgeous. I helped him do inventory for people's belongings, and as he would unload the truck, he would yell out what he had, and I would check those items off on the list to make sure that their belongings were all there. And it was sometimes excruciatingly hot. One time we were in San Antonio, and the heat. Oh, God. Wow. That's all I could say about that. Wow. So certain parts of the country I already knew because I had lived there before. So I've lived in Connecticut, New York, Maryland, Baltimore to be exact, Florida, and I think those are all the East Coast places that I've lived. And we took a small vacay when we were in Florida, which was really, really nice. Until it wasn't. I love the ocean. It's one of my favorite things. Okay. And we were there, and I was playing in the water, and I kept feeling pain on my ankles, and I thought that that was seashells. So I was collecting seashells because I used them to decorate my bathroom at the time. I had the whole ocean theme going on in my bathroom. And so these are free, so free is affordable. So when I felt pain on my ankles, I thought, oh, well, that's got to be the seashells hitting my ankles. No. Because once the air hit my ankle, I realized that I was yelling, hopping around like a grasshopper and yelling. Those were stings from jellyfish. And as soon as the air hit, you could feel the stinging. And so a good thing about Florida is, because that is super common, right? It's so easy to go to the store and get something for it over the counter. Real easy. And a lot of people say all you got to do is, pee on it. Well, how many people are going to do that on a public beach? Just pull your panties down or your britches down and take a whiz on somebody. I mean, that's like unrealistic. So unless you just like to be an exhibitionist or something. But vinegar helps with that also. And as I said, you could get something over the counter because it's super common for people to have that there. So let's see. Florida is beautiful. Orlando's okay. West Palm Beach I like a lot. We went through so many freaking states. It's hard to, comment on all of them. One thing about Breckenridge that I thought was really, really cool. So I think it was warm out. You didn't have to wear a jacket or anything. I don't remember what time of year it was. Didn't have to wear a jacket. But when you look up at the top of the mountains, you see snow. And I just thought that was so cool. I mean, seeing it on TV is one thing, but seeing it in person, I mean, there's like no comparison whatsoever. I like Colorado. Yeah. There's so many parts of the country that are absolutely stunning. Now, we were going through a series of mountains, and I don't remember which ones, but I was in the back of the truck. So what he had was called a sleeper. So it's basically in the cab itself, you've got the driver's seat, passenger seat, and then behind the seats you have like a mini apartment almost. There's a stand for your TV. There's a refrigerator. You can put your refrigerator underneath in this little cabinet thing or whatever underneath. And then there's bunk beds back there too. So, you know, I liked being on the top bunk. It's just, I've always liked the top bunk. That's just how I am. Even as an adult, I prefer the top bunk. So I think he was going through the Ozark Mountains at the time. I think. And normally, when truckers go around, when they're going through the mountains, there's no railing, there's no guardrail, there's no nothing, okay? So what drivers will do is they'll say on the radio, say it's Covenant. I think there's a trucking company called Covenant. When you're coming, and when the truck driver's coming around that tight curve, he or she will say Covenant coming around the curve right now. And then the other driver will say, okay, whatever, acknowledge that the driver's coming around. Well, apparently, I was back there taking a nap, and yeah, all of a sudden, he jerked the truck and he said, whoa, and I'm instantly awake. And I said, what's wrong? And he said that when the other truck driver came around the corner, he did not announced that he was coming around the corner. So he didn't know, and so he got out of the way basically in the nick of time. Those roads are narrow. There's sand traps every so many miles in case your brakes fail. You just get off the highway and go right onto the sand trap, and it'll stop your vehicle, your truck, whatever. And it was scary because there's this much room for error. Okay, see how small that is? They're like, you know what I'm saying? There will be no, you're getting rescued when you fall off. You're done. You fall off, you're done. So that was crazy. Let's see. One time the truck broke down, and so had to deal with that and the tow truck and the whole shebang. Truckers tend to be, from what I saw, they tend to be a community. So they look out for each other. I've gone out on the road with him a couple of times, and when things were better with us, although he was a narcissist, so there were times that when we were on the road, he would deliberately fight and argue. And during one of those times that he deliberately picked a fight for no reason, because that's what they love to do, we were at the Grand Canyon, and I only saw a glimpse of it because I was so hot, angry. I had no desire to see anything, and that's not really, I regret that, but what can you do? You know, I didn't want to be anywhere near him, and it was a mess. It was just a mess. But there were times that as per the usual with the narc, it's not always going to be hell, and it's not always going to be fighting. They have to have some goodness sprinkled in there to make you want to stay, okay? But anyway, with Breckenridge, it's such a high altitude, and I was a rookie, right? So I had no clue, and I'm bending over, and I'm working on these boxes, and, checking inventory and doing all these different things. And when I was exerting myself, I couldn't breathe. And I had to sit down, and I'm like, oh my God. I thought I was having a heart attack. For real. I thought I was having a heart attack. And I didn't find out till later it was because of the elevation. I didn't know that. I'm a rookie. A rookie at the time. I didn't know. So I made the fatal mistake. Some of y'all are going to remember this story, okay? So we were somewhere in Colorado. By the time my body acclimated to it, which took a couple of days, we were getting ready to leave. But I had no clue what was going on. I really thought I was having a heart attack. And so at one point he parked in a parking lot across the street, and then I kind of jogged across the street to go to Burger King. And that was a mistake because I still couldn't breathe. So go into Burger King, and I had this serious blonde moment. I go into Burger King and I can't breathe, and I can't give them my order because I can't breathe. So I'm going, y'all not having a hard time breathing? Of course they're not having a hard time breathing. They're used to it, right? Here's the rookie. They probably were going, here's another rookie. Are you serious right now? But anyway, yeah, when you can't breathe and it's high altitude and you're not used to it, don't run across the street. That's just my advice to you. The country is beautiful. It really is. A lot of it was, well, I have traveled, from the East, left the Midwest, and then left the Midwest, went to the East Coast, and then went all the way from the East Coast to California. I've been to 29 Palms. I've been to Oceanside, California, and I've been to San Diego a couple of times. And I like San Diego. I think it's beautiful right there on the water. My God, you don't have to twist my arm to like that. Ocean, hello, I'm so there. But I noticed that the houses are on top of each other in San Diego, like boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? Like sardines in a can. I didn't dig that particular part of San Diego. I didn't dig that. But I was digging the boats and the ocean and all of that. And the weather was perfect, as usual. And by the time we had gone from the East Coast to the West Coast, I had to find a chiropractor because I have issues, right? And we were in Oceanside, and everybody wanted to charge me a fortune. And I said, listen, I already have a chiropractor. I'm not trying to get established with another one, but I do need to get an adjustment. So everybody was trying to charge me an arm and a leg. Well, I'm going to take advantage of you while you're here and charge you as much as I can, and I'm not down for that. I'm not going to get robbed just because I need an adjustment. So I found one in Oceanside that wasn't going to rob me blind, and the price that he charged was reasonable. And I said, great, when can I see you? And so made that happen, and that was beautiful. That was a wonderful thing. There's hydraulics, I guess, I don't know, in the seats, like air ride, I don't know what it's called, but your body is still going, up and down, up and down, up and down, you know what I mean? And I have stenosis from my neck all the way down to my lumbar region. I have stenosis, which is where, if you imagine an accordion, the musical instrument, an accordion, when you close it, people open it and close it to play it, to make the sound. Well, when you close it, and everything gets narrow, that's how my neck and my back look. So yeah, by the time I got to the West Coast, I was in serious need of, a adjustment. I had a great time in Vegas. Vegas is hot as hell. Holy crap. We went to, I'm not really into the boats. I mean, I like to go there to see different things, but I don't gamble. I did some gambling out there. But I'm the type of person, if I'm not winning anything, I start losing interest. Some people, truck drivers, get out there and they gamble, and then they have to take an advance on their next paycheck because they done spent everything. No, that wouldn't be me, because number one, I don't have an addictive personality when it comes to that. Number two, if there's nothing in it for me, I'm not winning squat. Peace out. I total in my head how much I've already spent, and I'm not getting nothing out of it. Nah, I'm out. So anyway, whenever we were in Vegas, there's a restaurant called Terrible Mike's. Okay? Terrible Mike's. And I really, we went there to eat because naturally you want to know what's so terrible about it. So it's basically a mind bend. Terrible Mike's? Well, shoot, I gotta check that out. Honey, those burgers will knock your socks off your feet. I'm here to tell you, knock your socks right off your feet. Oh my God. And so I tried to be slick, right? I told him, you know, when the waiter came out and everything, I said, oh my God, this is so good. What seasonings do you use? And he's like, In other words, nice try. But, oh my God, it was good. Terrible mics? Oh, yes. Yes, let's do that again. I want a terrible meal. It's off the chain. Let's see. I love Minnesota, but I went there on vacation, so that was a little different. Yeah, the whole country is just absolutely beautiful. There is a truck driver who drives a golden trailer. It's like a golden color, and it has a huge mural on the side of it. It's like a scenery, a scenic mural on the side. It also has a huge dent in it that they left it in. They left the dent in it. That dent is from a bear. That dent is from a freaking bear. So they didn't bother fixing it. It's kind of like a conversation starter, you know what I mean? And I've seen it go down the highway before. It's a beautiful truck, but there is that gigantic dent in it. So that's interesting. When I was on the road the first time, I found out what a lot lizard was. I had no clue at the time. Lot lizards are women of the evening, women who do sexual favors at the truck stops. Okay. Now, when you're with a narc, okay, I didn't know he was a narc at the time. I did not know. Boy, did I eventually find out over the years. They take sex away from you. Intimacy, they take that away from you because it's something you want. So because you want it, you're not getting it. I don't know why narcs are that off, but they are. There's so much about them that's off. Most men love sex. Love it. Okay? Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Not a narcissist. They do not. They use it to manipulate. And it feels good because they have nerve endings down there, so it doesn't feel terrible, but it's not really their favorite thing. It's more of a tool to manipulate. So I'm on the road with him, and, you know, obviously, you know, you're married, you want to kind of have a little fun time, and he would deny me and deny me and deny me. And I'm the type of person, you keep playing those games with me, baby, I'll put it on ice. I will put ice down there, and it'll never melt. You want to play? Let's go. Okay. And you know what his excuse was? And he did that numerous times, and then that eventually blew up in his face. And then for 10 years, the latter 10 years of our marriage, I didn't want anything to do with him physically. So you playing that game kind of backfired. Anyway, the reason when we were on the road that he didn't want to is because he didn't want anybody reporting him and saying that, oh, his truck is bopping around, so, you know, he's probably with a lot lizard. I said, what are you talking about? We're married. No, yeah, but somebody might think that, you know, that I'm messing around with a lot lizard. I think that's lame. I don't know. I asked a lady who's a female truck driver, is there a way that you can stabilize your truck when you're going to be having funsy time? And nobody answered me, and she ignored me too. So I don't know if there's a way to stabilize the truck so that you're not advertising that you're getting your groove on. But if anybody called the cops, which most of them are not going to do that because they're minding their own business. If the cops were to come and check it out, we have wedding rings on. All they have to do is ask me personal questions about you. If I'm a lot lizard, I'm not going to know where you were born and raised, where your family's originally from, how long has he been working in the trucking industry, or whatever random questions they want to ask. I'm not going to know any of that if I'm a lot lizard. So it's not like they couldn't find out that we knew each other personally. I think that was an excuse. I don't want to give you what you want. Eventually that, like I said, that blew up in his face. Because when our marriage ended, and I found out that he was never faithful, I told myself I'm never getting involved with another truck driver again. I met a guy on a dating site a long time ago. I don't waste my time with dating sites anymore. I took them all down. Waste of time. Everybody's lying. Everybody's either married or they're lying and they don't want to be bothered, but they're pretending they want a relationship, and they're all lying. They're all lying. Every single one of them are lying, or they have avoidant personality or something else. They got something wrong with them. So I ain't got time for it. But I met a guy on there. He seemed like a nice person. They always seem like a nice person, right? He seemed like he was cool, but when he told me he was a truck driver, I backed off. Because you're traveling, and this is probably true for businessmen too, like, insurance salesman or whatever, a business where you travel, it's too easy to have a woman in every state or every other state. It's too damn easy. Now, was that fair to him? Probably not. He might have been the nicest guy in the world. But I was turned off by the fact that he was a truck driver. Not because he's a truck driver, but because my experience with my ex when we finally broke up, I was like, never again. I'm not going to make it easy for you to cheat. Not to say they can't cheat in the same state or the same city. They can. But it's harder to get caught when you're outside your area. People don't know you. They don't know if that's your spouse or not. People don't know. So it's a lot safer to do whatever, or you think it's a lot safer to run game or whatever you got to do. You think you got to do. So yeah, I don't know if there's a way to stabilize the truck while you're doing your thing. I have no idea. I know campers have that, like mobile homes and places like that. Vehicles like that or whatever you want to call it. They do have things that you can prop underneath. So if you're getting your groove on, you're not advertising to the whole world by your vehicle doing this boing boing boing, bopping all over the place. You know what I mean? I don't know if semi trucks, and no one would answer me, like I said. So whatever, it doesn't matter because I'm not with them anymore anyway. So it really doesn't matter. But to say that you don't want to be intimate with your wife because the cops are going to nail you because I could be a lot lizard. Like I said, that's ridiculous. It made no sense. It was just an excuse. Just an excuse not to do anything. So eventually he got his wish for 10 years. He was begging other people, so it really didn't hurt him, but it hurt his ego that I didn't want him that way. But I have to be safe with you emotionally or else I have no desire whatsoever. I'm not so hot that I could bang everybody. That's not me. That has never been me. If I don't have a connection with you and I don't feel safe with you, bye-bye. That's how I am. I'm just not, you look at me and I'm like, ooh. The way you looked at me and you winked at me, it sent a chill down my spine. I'm not one of those. I'm not. Okay. But, like I said, the country is beautiful. Never did go to Puerto Rico. Did not go to Canada. Would like to go to Canada. Some parts of Canada, the water freezes over and semis actually drive across it. Now, what parts those are, I don't know. I just know that they do that, certain parts of Canada. What could I have handled that? I don't know. I don't know. That would be creepy. Because that water's real cold, so if something goes wrong, that's an issue. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, those are my stories that I can think of. If I think of anything else that's exciting in reference to that, then I will let you know. Quit. Hi, babe. My son is laying here with his mommy. You laying with your mama? You laying with your mommy? So anyway, those are my stories. If I have anything else to add to it, I will let you know, but I can't think of anything right now. I know what I was going to say. One of the best truck stops out there is called Flying J. They are super clean, well stocked. I'm a tall person, and the sinks are tall. So if you're on the road and you don't really want to you know, you don't really want to take a shower now, or you don't need a shower, but you would like to wash your hair because whatever reason your hair is, whatever you got going on. They have tall sinks in there, and I never see that in any bathroom. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is cool. You know, you just the sink is wide and it's really tall. So if you want to wash your hair right then and there, you can. So that's pretty neat. I like the free showers. Free is affordable, baby. Free is affordable. Yeah. So if I think of anything else, I'll do a part 2. I'll make this a part 1 and then I'll do a part 2. But that's all I can think of for right now. It's great. But I did crave my own bed. After a while, you're like, okay, I saw what I wanted to see. Everything's cool, but I'd like to snuggle up in my own bed, in my own shower, take a shower in my own shower, and, you know, do that kind of thing. But it was interesting. I also paid my bills on the road. So basically what I did was I had a little book that had all the customer service numbers, you know, for gas, electric, phone, you know, the bills that you pay every month. And I would just, I think I put everything on a debit card or credit card. I can't remember exactly, but I would call them on the road and pay my bills that way since I wasn't home. So it was pretty neat. It was pretty neat. But yeah, you do crave your own bed and your own house and your own shower eventually. All right, you guys take care. Much love. Bye-bye.